Welcome to the weekly deep dive from March 16th to the 22nd, 2026. This is Reimagining Psychiatry. I'm Jason, and I'm feeling very grateful today. The week's top stories uncover an introspective moment in the psychiatric field and broader society, surrounding the question of where and how do AI systems fit into professional life. First, the top 5 stories of the week. Number 1. A large public survey conducted by Anthropic reported some common user priorities for AI: professional excellence, personal transformation, life management, time freedom, financial independence, and learning. Generally, people are looking for an increase in time, money, and mental bandwidth. Interestingly, the top fears within people are mirrored in their core hopes for AI. For instance, if one values emotional support from AI, they are 3 times more likely to fear becoming dependent on it. These tensions, called light and shade by Anthropic, are learning versus cognitive atrophy, better decision making versus unreliability, emotional support versus emotional dependence, time saving versus illusionary productivity, and economic empowerment versus economic displacement. On a more holistic level, 67% of AI are optimistic about AI, with main concerns about job and the economy, and these being the strongest predictors of AI sentiment overall. Interestingly, those in more wealthy countries tended to have a more negative outlook on AI than less wealthy countries. And taking a step back, the sheer number of participants reached and the rapid speed of the qualitative research performed by Anthropic's interviewer is the first of its kind. Their next big project is looking into overall well-being effects of people using Claude. And number 2, a written commentary asks how AI will shape psychiatry over the long run, highlighting potential benefits for diagnosis, trial design, and personalized treatment, while at the same time sounding warnings about safety, regulation, and trust. This piece urges clinicians to prepare for both operational opportunities and ethical risks as AI tools move from research to routine care. Third, a new large sample preprint reports that consumer wearable ring metrics, sleep architecture, nocturnal heart rate, and heart rate variability and daytime movement systematically vary with depression and anxiety severity. In about 1,300 adults wearing an Oura ring for 2 weeks, higher symptom scores associated with higher nocturnal heart rate, lower HRV, altered REM, deep sleep proportions, and lower daytime movement, suggesting consumer devices can flag clinically meaningful signals for monitoring and early detection. Number 4, Perplexity announced Perplexity Health, a suite of connectors and dashboards that let its AI platform access personal health data from Apple Health and wearables to labs and medical records, to answer personalized health questions and build user dashboards. That's a big step toward consumer-facing, data-integrated AI health assistance, promising for personalization, but it also raises immediate questions about data governance, accuracy, and clinical oversight. This looks very similar to Microsoft's Copilot Health. For more on this, check out last week's episode. Number 5, new meta-analytic evidence suggests anti-inflammatory drugs may reduce anhedonia and overall depressive symptoms in depressed patients who have elevated inflammation levels. In a pre-registered review of randomized trials, small to moderate effect sizes were seen for both anhedonia and depressive severity when studies selected people with CRP of greater than 2 milligrams per liter, supporting a precision immunopsychiatry approach rather than one-size-fits-all prescribing. Now let's just take a moment. What do you see around you? Does anything stand out? something that I see on my desk is a ceramic shark that I painted when I was coaching for a summer swim team. I like how smooth and it looks and feels. Now, onto our deep dive. Today's deep dive looks at a pressing topic where technology and mental health collide: artificial intelligence, job displacement, and the psychiatric significance of work. The piece we are discussing appeared in Psychiatric Times and argues that AI driven job loss is not only an economic challenge, it's a potential public mental health emergency. Let's unpack what that means for clinicians, patients, and policy. Work does far more than provide income. Across cultures and development, productive activity organizes time, anchors identity, and embeds people with social purpose. Modern AI systems, now automating learning, reasoning, and language, threaten to displace roles that were once uniquely human. That rapid change risks not just temporary unemployment, but potentially widespread, persistent worklessness. From a psychiatric perspective, that's consequential. Loss of meaningful work commonly triggers acute stress responses, and if prolonged, can evolve into depression, anxiety, substance misuse, and even increased mortality risk. Decades of research link involuntary job loss to markedly worse mental and physical health outcomes. Studies show higher rates of depression, anxiety, suicidal behavior, and long-term increases in mortality following displacement, especially among mid-career and formerly high-status workers, just the type of people who could get laid off because of AI. Clinically, job loss often presents first as sleep disturbance, hyperarousal, rumination, and functional decline. Many patients will not point to job insecurity as a root cause, so make sure to ask a careful social history. Asking questions about layoffs, contract instability, or looming automation concerns, even when the presenting complaint looks purely mood-based. Policy proposals such as UBI, or Universal Basic Income, can blunt material hardships, but money alone does not restore the psychological functions of work. Income replaces purchasing power, not structure, identity, or the social scaffolding that purposeful labor supplies. The article argues we need interventions that rebuild or substitute for those psychosocial functions: purposeful activity, social roles, routine, and opportunities for mastery. Finally, this is not just about a few people losing their jobs. Health systems should prepare for surges of occupational distress, and psychiatrists should engage proactively with employers and policymakers about safe transitions for their workers. Bottom line, if AI-driven displacement is large-scale, the downstream psychiatric effects could be quite profound. In my opinion, I do not believe that current AI systems will cause unprecedented levels of job displacement. I believe that AI is a normal technology, and that the impacts will be sector-specific and depend on factors such as existing regulations and potential for harm. If you want to learn more about this, read AI as a Normal Technology. In either case, mass employment or sector-level changes, AI is already changing the landscape of some industries and could affect many others in the months and years to come. Therefore, we should broaden our mental health responses beyond just income support to include purposeful activity, social connection, and systemic support that protects identity, meaning, and people. For clinicians, ask about work on every intake. Treat sudden job loss as a potentially urgent emergency, and build local links with vocational and retraining services. Some personal questions that I have and am thinking about. Number 1, how should psychiatric training change to prepare clinicians for occupational trauma at scale? 2, how, as a society, can we prevent mass job loss across the board? 3, what can we do now to create systems of support in case systemic unemployment does happen. So what can you do? For your patients, discuss with them about these potential job layoffs, the harms that come with that, and what they can do now to proactively help themselves. In your professional world, work with local psychiatric boards and regional leadership to bring awareness to these issues. And make sure to try and push for careful adoption of these tools in the mental health care space. Societally, set an example on how to build connection and support systems that benefit you and everybody around you. This was Reimagining Psychiatry. Thank you for the privilege of your attention. Hope to see you next Sunday.